Ask Reddit. Students of Reddit, what is your best school life hack? Part 1. For math, physics majors, learn how to use LaTeX early. It will save you a ton of time in the long run, and you'll need to know it for grad school anyway. I personally recommend LYX for problem sets, since it helps to see what you're writing live. Also, learning how to use Mathematica really saved me countless times when I wasn't smart enough to do the math by hand. If you have lazy teachers, Google a direct quote from a worksheet or assignment, and you can sometimes find teaching resources and answers online. At my school, the teachers have their own website and can make different folders for resources. The teachers have the option of putting a link on their site so students can access it. So teachers can see all links and students can only see once the teacher put on the public site. I looked up one of the assignments from my AP environmental class and found a link to my teacher's answer folder for all homework. I really lucked out there because I had no clue what I was doing in that class. Find some time to get exercise in. All of that grab and go fast food catches up to you fast. I got fat as a potato in college and have since lost all that weight. I wish I made time to at least squeeze in a 30-minute workout every other day. To add to this, a workout doesn't need to be led by a pro trainer, an hour long at the gym once you get a membership or find a workout partner, etc. It can be enough just to walk around campus, the city, town for 30 minutes. Bonus points if you bring a podcast or audiobook with you. My classmate took up a strict 9 to 5 school schedule, right from the first semester. Every day he'd work 9 to 5. He was either in class, working on homework, or studying if he got everything done. At 5 p.m., he'd pack up his stuff and was done for the day. He had all his homework done way ahead of schedule and never had to pull all-nighters or waste weekends on homework. He was never stressed out or anything like that because he'd spent time studying when he wasn't slammed with homework. I could never imagine it because I'd rather procrastinate and start 3 hours before it was due, but it seemed like the best way to do it. This is by far the best advice that can be given to people entering college. Not only does it make everything so much easier, you are miles ahead of your peers when you get a job because you've practiced being productive and proactive. This is from someone who did the absolute opposite of this while in school. If you need to participate in group discussions but aren't sure about the material, ask intelligent questions instead of trying to answer what you don't get. It'll buy you time and you'll still be participating. See the professor, TA, during their office hours if you need extra help understanding something. No one comes to office hours and they're usually really happy to help. To add on to this, pay attention to how often other people are participating. If it's a high participation class, you'll probably want to contribute 3 to 4 times, even if you don't know what's going on. Snatch up the easiest gimme answers and ask a couple of good questions and you're set. If participation is low, your teacher, TA, will be thrilled anytime someone says anything at all. Just ask like one question during class and you'll be fine. I had plenty of college discussion-based classes where certain students literally never talked. At most, it would be once or twice in the entire semester, and only because they were directly addressed. For all my fellow commuters out there, meal prep. You will save so much money by making some rice and chicken at home instead of buying some food every day. I used to buy Subway twice a week as I was at school for a long time. I just started to do meal prep and I feel so much better about not spending that much money anymore. What meals do you prepare? I don't have access to a microwave and can't usually eat until around 2 in my 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. school schedule. Browse the textbook before the lecture, or at least skim the introduction and the section headings. It's a lot easier to remember information if you walk into the classroom with a little bit of context. See, I've always done that, but had the most trouble with professors who just assign readings and then do their own thing. If you don't know how to study or have a hard time getting yourself to do homework, get a friend to buddy with. My ADHD ass can't study to save my life, but if my friend is in the room concentrating on that thing, I feel like I don't want to be left out, and I'll buckle down so we're on the same page. If you can't manufacture effective function, peer pressure is fine too. I wouldn't have made it through post-grad without doing this. My study buddy found me, knew me for about 15 minutes before she said, "I know you're smart, but you obviously can't focus on this. I'll make you learn it if you teach it to me." My grades went from a C to an A, and we both made it out to good jobs. Get enough sleep. Seriously, I know it's hard. I know there's not enough hours in the day, but if you're going to cut anything, it shouldn't be sleep. Sleep more than you study more than you party, and party as much as you can. Do not leave things to be done just before the deadline. Do it ahead of time, if possible, so you avoid unnecessary stress. Helps me survive. Also, learn how to manage your time well. I hated it when teachers, professors actively prevented you from working at least a week ahead. Locked assignments are the bane of my existence. It's fairly silly, but it was indispensable to me in college, especially for my English minor. Paste your syllabi in a very visible location in your home and write down all of your major due dates on a whiteboard. There's a lot of things that go on in college, so it's really easy to forget sometimes what you have to read or what papers you have to do. Especially for non-math courses, your assignments will be due in spurts, and it's definitely not as easy to remember as a weekly problem set. So it's best to just have all your assignments easily visible. It pays dividends. All my college student friends out there, make sure to give yourself enough time to sleep every day. Get a little exercise when you can. It helps relieve stress and works to counter all the cup of noodles you're likely chowing down on. Personal hygiene is huge. Shower every day, brush your teeth, wash your hands. It'll make you happier, and believe me when I say that people can absolutely tell when you don't do these things, regardless of how well you try to mask it with deodorant, gum. It may be tempting to relax first and wait to do projects, papers later before they are due, but if you do the opposite, you will find that there is way less stress involved. Meal prep is a great way to make sure you are eating well while saving as much time as possible during the week. Talk to your instructors. Get to know them. Their advice can be invaluable in knowing what they expect in classwork and homework, and after you graduate, you will want to ask them for letters of recommendation for jobs. If you don't have a relationship with them, they are less likely to give you one. Likewise, talk with your classmates. Lifelong friends are made in college, sometimes in the most unlikely circumstances, classes. I was a history major and met one of my best friends in a seminar class about genocide. We went out for ice cream and watched cartoons after each class to cheer ourselves up. And now 9 years later, we still meet up once a week for ice cream. Remember that no matter how stressed you get, how hopeless things may seem when the world seems to be putting you under as much pressure as possible, there are always people out there who care and who want to help you. Most colleges have student counselors who you can talk with for free and get things off your chest. The college where I work also has a Zen den, where you can go to relax, sit quietly in a beanbag chair or hammock, and just get away from things for a minute. Chances are yours may have similar resources for students. And finally, always remember, you are loved, you are enough, you are beautiful, you are worthy, you are irreplaceable. This surprised me. Dumb teenager me, for some reason, didn't like showering. My parents often had to push me to take one. Otherwise, I was comfortable going 3 to 5 days without one. It was when I was in college that I picked up better hygiene habits. I just suddenly realized once I lived on my own that I liked showering and feeling clean. Baffed me however I felt otherwise before. So it shocks me that there are college kids out there that do the opposite. Have good hygiene at home, then let it lax when they go to college. If you're nervous about presenting something or speaking out loud because you're forced to, just know that the majority of students around you feel the same way as you, if not worse. That always helped me get over the fear of talking out loud. Yeah, and adding to that, they are probably too worried about their own presentation to pay attention if you go early. Laminate your notes so that the tears just roll off. On a serious note, this is kind of stupidity, but once I left my charger at the library and it wasn't at the Lost and Found, so I came back a few hours later when a different person was working and asked if they had found a white Apple phone charger, which I saw that they had earlier, and they just gave me this charger, lost the charger, and got a new one for free. Try not to buy books from the bookstore, if only. My professors have a super fun habit of writing their own books and selling them at the barns here. Oh, and some even sell access codes to do their homework. Gotta love college. Teacher here, but I work with hundreds of students every day. Here's the 100% best school hack ever. Ask questions. If you're confused about something, ask. If you forget something, ask. If you need something explained again or in a different way, ask. Ask, ask, ask. Teachers choose the job they are in because they want to educate. We aren't doing it for the hours, the pay, the prestige, the summers off, or the joy of working with apathetic children and their angry parents. We stay in the career because we want to make the future generations better than those that came before. Most of the time, we can't help you if you don't let us know you need help. Ask, 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 and ask some more. If the teacher doesn't want to help you, keep asking around until you find someone who will. Also, learn to ask good questions. Don't just say, "I don't get it," because that's not a question, and the teacher, or whomever you are asking, has nothing specific to go on. Instead, say, "What do you mean by these directions?" Or, "What am I supposed to do here?" That helps narrow down where your struggles are and lets the teacher zero in on how best to help you. Please, though, do so at the right time. My entire first year, there were 2 girls always sitting at the front and seemingly struggling with absolute basics, given the multitude of questions they asked. It held up the professor each time, and that time added up. Everyone should be able to follow along, but try to account for the fact that you're not at a personal lecture, so try to limit in-lecture questions a bit. Go to the same school and have the same teachers as your perfect brother and perfect sister. You will skate by and get special treatment and leave high school with a false sense of entitlement and ability. Is it true that legacy students have a higher chance of getting into the same college? Pretty much always yes. The pricier the college, the more obviously this is the case. At an Ivy League school, being a family member or relative of alumni, especially if they went on to be notable, and especially if they contributed financially to the school, makes all the difference for an applying student. Throw yourself into the course. Network like a maniac. Help out on projects that are tied to professional businesses. Volunteer. Long gone are the days of being paid to start the best band in the world. You are paying for a service, so get the most out of it. Or don't go and get a job instead. Master that, make cash money, train and get qualifications. Or let go about with a minimum wage job. Do the festivals, travel, hike up mountains and camp under the stars. Join the greatest band in the world or learn to paint. Do something while you learn what you really want to do. Mostly, wear sunscreen.